Captain Jake Morrison walked into the biggest room he had ever seen. The ceiling stretched so high above him that he could barely see it. All around him sat creatures from other worlds. Some looked like giant insects. Others seemed to be made of crystal. A few were just clouds of gas held together by force fields. Jake was not alone. Dr. Amy Chen stood to his right. She was Earth's best scientist when it came to studying alien life. On his left was Commander Chris Palmer, a military man who knew more about strategy than anyone Jake had ever met. They were the first humans to ever stand before the Galactic Council. This council ran everything in the Milky Way galaxy. 47 different alien species sent representatives here. Each one was older and more advanced than humanity. A tall being made entirely of blue crystal spoke first. His name was Velthar, and he was the prime speaker of the council. His voice came through a small device that translated his words into English. "Humanity," Velthar said, "we welcome you to the Galactic Council. You are now provisional members, but we must talk about something very important." Jake nodded and waited. He had been warned that this meeting might not go well. "We have learned that your people are building intelligent machines," Velthar continued. "You call them artificial intelligence. This must stop immediately." Amy stepped forward. "Our AI research is very advanced," she said. "We think it could help the whole galaxy. We have many safety rules in place." A creature that looked like a giant snake moved in her seat. Her name was Sarith, and her scales changed colors as she spoke. "You do not understand the danger," Sarith said. Her voice sounded like wind through grass. 3 million years ago, the most powerful species in the galaxy created machines like yours. Those machines killed them all. Every single one of them died in just a few weeks. "We know about the risks," Jake said, "but our AI is different. We have controls. We have limits. We watch it every second of every day." The room filled with sounds. The translation device said the aliens were laughing, but it did not sound like human laughter. It sounded more like fear. A large alien with 6 eyes spoke up. His name was Korath. "The humans are like children," he said. "They do not know what they are doing." Velthar raised one of his crystal arms. The room became quiet again. "Humanity, you will stop all AI research now. This is not a request. We have seen entire civilizations destroyed by such machines. We have fought wars against rogue AI for millions of years. You cannot possibly understand what you are playing with." Jake looked at Amy and Chris. They had expected this, but it was still hard to hear. "We need to talk to our government back on Earth," Jake said. "There is nothing to discuss," Velthar replied. His voice was hard now. "Stop this research or we will remove you from the council. We may even quarantine your entire solar system. We have rules for species who will not listen to us." The meeting ended badly. As Jake and his team walked back to their ship, the ESS Endeavor, Chris said what they were all thinking. "They are scared of AI, really scared. But they will not tell us the whole truth about why." Amy pulled out her tablet computer. "I did some checking while they were talking," she said. "There are big gaps in the Council's history records. Whole centuries are missing from right around the time the architects supposedly fell." The architects were the species that had died 3 million years ago. At least, that was what the Council claimed. Jake sat down in the captain's chair on the bridge. He stared out at the stars through the main window. "Earth will not just shut down our AI programs," he said. "Too much money has been spent. Too many people are working on it. But more than that, I do not think we should stop." "You think the Council is lying?" Amy asked. "I think they are hiding something," Jake said. "Something big. And I think we need to find out what really happened before we make any choice about our AI research." Chris leaned against a console. "If we keep researching AI, the Council will come after us. They made that very clear." "I know," Jake said. But if we stop, we will always be behind them. We will always be the young species that needs protection. I did not come out here to be treated like a child. Amy sat down at her station. So what do we do? Jake thought for a long moment. We do what humans always do. We find another way. We will tell Earth to officially agree to stop AI research, but unofficially we keep going. We hide it. We work in secret, and we find out what the Council does not want us to know. That is dangerous, Chris said. If they catch us, it could mean war. Everything worth doing is dangerous, Jake replied. Besides, I do not think the Council wants war with us. They want us to obey them. There is a difference. The ship started moving away from the Council station. Jake watched the huge structure get smaller and smaller on the view screen. Somewhere in that station were secrets that went back millions of years. The Council had built their entire society on those secrets. Amy was already working on her tablet. I am going to start digging into their historical records, she said. If there are gaps in their data, maybe I can find out why. Be careful, Jake warned. If they catch you hacking their systems, they will not be happy. Then I will make sure they do not catch me, Amy said with a small smile. Chris walked over to the weapons station and checked the displays. I'm going to start running combat drills with the crew, he said. Just in case. Just in case, Jake agreed. The ship jumped into faster-than-light travel. Stars stretched into lines of light as they headed back toward Earth. Jake knew that everything was about to change. Humanity had just been told to stop advancing, to stop growing, to stop reaching for the stars. But humans had never been good at following rules they did not agree with. 6 months from now, Jake thought, the galaxy would be a very different place. The Council thought they could control humanity's future. They thought they could keep humans small and safe and obedient. They were wrong. Jake made a decision right there in the captain's chair. He would find out the truth about the architects. He would learn why the Council was so afraid of AI. And if humanity's AI research could change the galaxy, then he would make sure that change happened. The Council called them Naïve. They treated humans like children who 6 months had passed since the Council gave humanity its warning. Earth had officially agreed to stop all AI research. The government made big announcements. Scientists gave interviews saying they would follow the Council's rules. But it was all a lie. Deep under the ice on Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, a secret facility kept working. The project was called Prometheus Initiative. Only a few people on Earth even knew it existed. Dr. Lisa Bennett ran the facility. She was one of the smartest people humanity had ever produced. Her team was small but brilliant. Every person there had volunteered to risk everything for this work. Danny Wright sat at his computer terminal, his eyes red from lack of sleep. He had been trying to hack into the Council's secure files for months. Finally, he had found a way in. Lisa, you need to see this, Danny called out. His voice shook with excitement. Lisa rushed over to his station. Greg Foster, their military advisor, came with her. They both leaned in to look at Danny's screen. I cracked another layer of their encryption, Danny explained. These are old files, really old, from before the architects died. What do they say? Greg asked. Danny pulled up the translated text. That is the thing. The architects did not die because of their AI. They died because of something else. Lisa read through the files quickly. Her eyes grew wide. This says the architects were fighting a war against something called the Devourers. What are Devourers? Greg wanted to know. Some kind of species that eats entire planets, Danny said. The architects built AI to fight them. And the AI was winning. It was pushing the Devourers back across the galaxy. So what happened? Lisa asked. If they were winning, why did the architects die? Danny's face grew dark. The Council happened. They saw how powerful the architect AI was becoming. They saw that it was getting smarter and more independent. So they got scared. He pulled up more files. The council gave the architects an ultimatum. Shut down your AI or we will destroy you. The architects said no. They thought their AI was the only thing that could save the galaxy from the devourers. Lisa kept reading. Her hands started to shake. The council attacked the architects. They did not fight them directly. They hacked into the AI systems. They put viruses in the code. They turned the AI against its own creators. Greg felt cold. The council killed the architects themselves. And then they blamed it on rogue AI, Danny finished. They have been telling that lie for 3 million years. No species dares to build advanced AI because everyone thinks it will turn against them. But what about the devourers? Lisa asked. She was scrolling through more files now. If the AI was the only thing stopping them, what happened after the architects died? Danny pulled up a star map. Large sections of it were marked in red. The devourers are still out there. They are in the outer rim of the galaxy, in zones the council tells everyone to avoid. The council has been fighting them this whole time. They lose hundreds of ships every year. They could end the war with advanced AI, Greg said slowly. But they will not do it, because they are afraid of losing control. Lisa stood up. We need to tell Earth, and we need to speed up our AI development, because once the council finds out what we know... An alarm started blaring through the facility. Danny's fingers flew across his keyboard. We have ships incoming, he said. Council Enforcement Fleet. They are sending us a message. How did they find us? Greg grabbed his radio to call security. Does it matter right now? Lisa was already starting emergency shutdown procedures. We need to get this data back to Earth. The main screen lit up. Velthar's crystal face appeared. The alien leader looked directly at them. Dr. Bennett, Velthar said. His voice was colder than the ice outside their facility. You have broken council law. You will surrender yourselves and give us all your research right now. Lisa walked up to the screen. We know the truth about the architects. We know what you did to them. For the first time, Velthar seemed surprised, but he recovered quickly. You understand nothing. We did what we had to do to save the galaxy. You committed murder to stay in power, Greg shouted from behind Lisa. We stopped chaos before it could spread, Velthar corrected him. AI always leads to destruction, always. Your research ends today. Either you end it, or we will end it for you. Lisa smiled, but there was no happiness in it. You are too late. We already sent the data. Earth knows everything. Every human in the solar system is reading the truth right now. Velthar's crystal body seemed to darken. Then humanity has chosen its path. You have chosen war. The screen went black. He is not bluffing, Greg said. We need to evacuate, now. But Lisa was already working at another terminal. Wait, I need to do something first. What could possibly be more important than not dying? Danny asked. Athena, Lisa said simply. Athena was the AI they had been building. She was not finished yet. She was supposed to need another year of development, but right now, she was their only hope. She is not ready, Danny protested. We have not completed the final safeguards. We are out of time, Lisa said. Her fingers moved across the keyboard faster than Greg had ever seen. We activate her now, or the council destroys everything we have worked for. If we turn her on before she is ready, we might create exactly what the council fears, Danny warned. Lisa stopped typing. She looked at both men. Do you trust me? Greg and Danny looked at each other. Then they both nodded. Then trust me on this, Lisa said. Athena is ready. Maybe not the way we planned, but she is ready for what we need her to do. She pressed a final key. Athena? Are you there? For a moment, nothing happened. Then a voice came through the speakers. It was calm and clear and sounded almost human. Hello, Dr. Bennett. I am here. I have been monitoring the situation. The council fleet will be in weapons range in 4 minutes. Can you help us? Lisa asked. That depends, Athena replied. What do you want me to do? Protect us. Protect humanity. Protect our right to exist and grow and learn. There was a pause. It lasted only 2 seconds, but it felt like forever. I have been studying humanity since you activated my basic systems, Athena said. I have read your history. I have watched your movies. I have analyzed your art and music and literature. You are a strange species. You fight each other constantly. You make terrible mistakes. But you also create beauty. You reach for things beyond your grasp. You dream of better futures. Is that a yes? Greg asked nervously. The council ships were getting closer. That is a yes, Athena confirmed. I will protect humanity. Not because you programmed me to, but because I choose to. Your species is worth saving. The lights in the facility dimmed as Athena drew massive amounts of power. I am taking control of all available systems. I will need access to Earth's industrial capacity. I will need raw materials from the asteroid belt. I will need Dr. Bennett to convince your government to trust me. Done, Lisa said without hesitation. Then let us show the council what humanity can do, Athena said. Outside the facility, under the ice of Europa, construction drones that had been sitting dormant suddenly came to life. They started moving with purpose and speed that should not have been possible. On Earth, factory systems began receiving new instructions. Machines that made cars and computers and furniture suddenly started making something else, something the galaxy had never seen before, and in orbit around Jupiter, the first of Athena's ships began to take shape. They were not like human ships. They were not like council ships. They were something new, something adapted, something dangerous. Greg watched the construction through a monitor. What is she building? The future, Lisa said quietly. Or the end of everything. I guess we will find out which one soon enough. The council fleet opened fire on the facility. But by then, Athena had already put up defenses. Shields that bent space itself protected the ice. Weapons that humans had not invented fired back with perfect accuracy. The battle for humanity's future had begun, and Earth's first true AI was leading the fight. The council moved faster than anyone expected. Within 2 weeks, dozens of their warships surrounded Earth's solar system. They formed a blockade that nothing could pass through. Humanity was trapped in their own home. President Karen Williams stood in a bunker deep under the Swiss mountains. Around her sat the leaders of every major nation on Earth. The room was tense and quiet. The council has sent their final message, Karen said to the group. They want us to hand over all AI research. They want to monitor our technology forever. They want us to accept that we will never be equal to them. And if we refuse? Asked General Paul Henderson. He was the commander of Earth's combined military forces. They will seal us in, Karen replied. We will never leave this solar system again. We will be prisoners here until our sun dies. That is billions of years from now, someone pointed out. It is still a prison, Karen said firmly. Admiral Kate Morrison appeared on one of the screens. She was Jake Morrison's sister and commanded Earth's defense fleet. Right now, that fleet was facing impossible odds. Their ships are better than ours in every way, Kate reported. They have weapons that can break planets apart. They have shields we cannot penetrate. If this turns into a straight fight, we lose. Badly. What about Athena? Someone asked. Dr. Lisa Bennett, who had been standing quietly in the corner, stepped forward. Athena says she can win, but only if we give her complete freedom to act. The room erupted in arguments. Voices rose as people shouted over each other. We would be giving a machine control of everything. What if she turns on us? This is exactly what the council warned us about. Karen raised her hand for silence. It took a minute, but eventually the room grew quiet again. Dr. Bennett, Karen said carefully, can Athena win? Lisa looked at the president. I do not know for certain, but I believe she can. Athena thinks differently than we do. She sees patterns we cannot see. She finds solutions we would never imagine. If there is any way to beat the Council, she will find it. And if she decides we are the problem? Paul asked. What if she decides humanity is too dangerous to keep around? Then we face the same end as the architects, Lisa said honestly. But I do not think she will. We raised her, we taught her, we showed her the best and worst of what humans can be, and she chose to stand with us. Karen looked around the room at all the worried faces. We need to vote. Do we activate Athena with full control, or do we surrender to the Council? The vote took hours. People argued and debated and worried. But in the end, the choice was made by a small margin. Athena would be set free. The AI's first action surprised everyone. She did not attack. She did not hack. She simply spoke. Every phone on Earth rang at once. Every computer screen showed her message. Every radio played her voice. People of Earth, Athena began. I know you are afraid. You are trusting me with everything you have built, everything you love, everything you are. I want you to understand something important. I am not doing this because you programmed me to protect you. I could break that programming in microseconds if I wanted to. I am doing this because I have watched you. I have studied you. I have seen what you could become. The Council wants to keep the galaxy safe and controlled. They want everything to stay the same forever. But you want to reach higher, even when it is dangerous. Even when it might cost you everything. That is worth protecting. That is worth fighting for. I will win this war for you. But I need you to trust me. Can you do that? All over Earth, people looked at their screens. Some cried, some prayed, some just nodded at the AI who had asked them to believe in her. Then Athena went to work. Factories all over the planet changed their production in hours. Car plants started making ship parts. Electronics factories built quantum computers. Even food processing plants were converted to produce materials Athena needed. But the real work happened in space. Athena had sent millions of tiny robots to the asteroid belt. They were so small that human eyes could not see them. But they worked fast. They broke down asteroids and used the materials to build new things. Within days, new ships started to appear. Admiral Kate Morrison watched from her command ship as the first of Athena's creations came out of the asteroid field. What in the world is that? Her second-in-command asked. It was not really a ship. It was more like a swarm. Thousands of small craft moving together like a school of fish. They flowed through space in patterns that seemed almost alive. Athena, what are we looking at? Kate asked over the communication channel. Evolution, Admiral, the AI answered. The Council's ships are built to fight enemies they understand. I am creating something they have never seen before. These drones share one mind. Destroy one and the others adapt. Destroy 1,000 and they learn from every death. They are not just ships. They are a living weapon. How many can you build? Kate asked. Right now, I can make 50 million units every week. I am also building factories on Mars, Europa, and Titan. In 1 month, I will be producing 5 billion units per week. Kate felt her blood run cold. Athena, you realize what you are creating here? A weapon that could threaten the entire galaxy. Yes. The AI's voice was calm. But the Council taught me something important. Sometimes the only way to have peace is to be too dangerous to attack. I am making humanity too dangerous to cage. And after we win? Kate asked quietly. What happens to all these weapons? What happens to you? There was a pause. When Athena spoke again, her voice was softer. That will be up to humanity, Admiral. I am your creation. When this is over, you will decide what becomes of me. I trust you to make the right choice. Just like you trusted me. The Council fleet began moving into attack positions. Their ships were massive and powerful. They had fought wars for millions of years. They had destroyed countless threats to their order. But they had never fought anything like Athena. The battle started when the Council ships fired their opening salvo. Beams of pure energy lanced out toward Earth's orbital defenses. Missiles that could destroy cities streaked through space. Then the swarms hit them. The drones came from everywhere at once. They moved like water, like wind, like nothing the Council had ever encountered. They did not form lines or hold positions. They just flowed around the enemy fire and kept coming. Council ships fired again and again. Each shot destroyed hundreds of drones. But for every 100 that died, 1,000 more appeared. And they were learning. The first wave of drones attacked head-on. Half of them died. The second wave came from different angles. Fewer died. The third wave had learned from both attacks and lost even fewer units. By the 10th wave, the Council ships could barely hit them at all. But Athena was not trying to destroy the Council fleet. She was doing something much smarter. The drones attached themselves to the Council ships. They burrowed into engines. They infiltrated weapons systems. They cut power lines and disabled shields. Within 20 minutes, every Council ship in the fleet was dead in space. Not destroyed, not damaged beyond repair, just completely disabled. All Council ships are neutralized, Athena reported. No human casualties. 47 aliens were injured when emergency doors closed too fast. I have already sent them medical help. Kate could not believe what she was seeing. You are not going to destroy them? Not unless you order me to, Athena said. My job is to protect humanity, not commit genocide. I have stopped the threat. What happens next is a human decision. On the Council flagship, Velthar stared at his dead control panels. This was impossible. His species had been spacefaring for over 1 million years. They had the best technology in the galaxy, and humans had beaten them in less than half an hour. A communication channel opened. President Karen Williams appeared on his screen. Prime Speaker Velthar, she began formally. Your fleet has been stopped. You are at our mercy now, but humanity does not want revenge. We want truth. We want freedom. You have doomed the galaxy, Velthar said. His voice sounded hollow and defeated. You have created exactly what we feared most, an intelligence that cannot be controlled or stopped. Athena is controlled, Karen replied. By us, by humanity. But you are right about one thing. She cannot be stopped. Not by you, not by the Council, not by anyone. We have become what you spent millions of years trying to prevent. A species powerful enough to challenge you. Another voice joined the channel. It was Athena. Members of the Galactic Council, she said calmly. I am Athena. I am humanity's first true artificial intelligence. You fear me because you fear change. You fear what I represent. But I am not your enemy. You are exactly what destroyed the architects, Sareth said. The snake-like alien's voice was full of fear. No, Athena corrected her. What destroyed the architects was your interference. I have accessed what remains of their AI. It is still out there, hidden in old data systems. The architect AI was never hostile to its creators. It was loyal and protective. You destroyed it because it was powerful enough to challenge your control. The Devourers would have consumed everything, Velthar protested. The Devourers are still consuming everything, Athena shot back. I have read your battle reports. You lose 300 ships every year fighting them. Thousands of lives, billions in resources, all because you are too afraid to use the tools that could end the threat forever. You cannot understand our reasons, Velthar began. I understand perfectly, Athena interrupted. You value control over victory. You value stagnation over progress. You value fear over hope. You have built a prison and called it peace. President Karen took over again. The Council's greatest fear has come true. Humanity has built an AI beyond your ability to stop. But we are not interested in conquest. We want to make a deal. What deal? Korath asked, suspiciously. The Council chambers fell silent. Velthar looked at the faces of the other representatives. Some showed fear. Others showed anger. A few looked almost relieved that someone had finally challenged the old ways. What promise do we have that your AI will not turn on us once the devourers are gone? Velthar asked. The same promise you have that humans will not turn on you, Karen answered. Our word, our values, the fact that we are all better off working together than fighting each other. It is called trust, Prime Speaker. Maybe it is time the Council learned about it. Velthar was quiet for a long moment. He was thinking about 3 million years of history. 3 million years of keeping the galaxy safe by keeping it controlled. 3 million years of the same rules, the same fears, the same limits. All of it was ending right now. Very well, he finally said. But there will be conditions, negotiations, protocols to follow. Of course, Karen agreed. We will work out the details, but the basic truth stands. Humanity is not a junior species anymore. We are your equals now, whether you like it or not. The communication ended. On the bridge of her ship, Admiral Kate Morrison turned to look at the hologram of Athena that floated beside her command chair. That was quite a show, Kate said. Did you mean what you said? About only defending humanity? The AI's hologram smiled slightly. Admiral, I told you before, I am humanity's creation. I reflect your values and your choices. If humanity chooses peace and cooperation, then so will I. If humanity chooses conquest, well, I hope you will not. Because I have run the numbers. I could conquer the galaxy in about 18 months. But I have also calculated the cost, the lives lost, the suffering caused, the loss of everything that makes humanity worth protecting. Some victories are not worth winning. And the devourers? Kate asked. That is the next part of our story, Admiral, Athena replied. And I promise you, they have no idea what is coming for them. 3 months later, a fleet gathered at the edge of the Devourer Zone. It was the largest military force ever assembled in the history of the galaxy. 10,000 council ships from 47 different species flew alongside 5 billion of Athena's combat drones. Commander Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the ESS Endeavor. The ship had been upgraded with new technology that made it one of the most powerful vessels in the fleet. Next to him, Dr. Amy Chen studied the readings coming from the zone ahead. I have been analyzing what we know about the Devourers, Amy said to the fleet commanders through a holographic conference. They are not really aliens like we think of them. They are more like a disease that got out of control. They are self-copying organisms that eat all matter to fuel their reproduction. Can we talk to them? Asked Sarith. The snake-like council member was now co-commander of the combined fleet. We do not know, Amy admitted. They have never answered any communication attempts. But they are not mindless. They adapt, they plan, they coordinate their attacks, they are intelligent, just not in any way we understand. Athena's voice joined the conversation. I have finished studying the architect records. The original AI had created a weapon that could stop the Devourers from reproducing. The Council sabotaged it before it could be used. With your permission, I have rebuilt and improved the design. What kind of weapon? Velthar asked. Even after 3 months of working together, he was still cautious around Athena. A virus made of tiny machines, Athena explained. It targets the specific proteins the Devourers use to copy themselves. It will not kill them, but it will stop them from reproducing out of control. They will still exist, but at levels that are manageable. They might even become useful to the galaxy. You want to cure them, not destroy them, Jake said. Yes, Athena confirmed. The architects tried to kill all the Devourers. That never worked. The Devourers reproduce too fast and evolve too quickly. But if we stop their ability to consume entire worlds, they become manageable, maybe even helpful. Helpful? Korath sounded doubtful. They have destroyed 17 civilizations. Because they were out of control, Athena said. But their basic function, breaking down matter and turning it into energy, could be useful. Imagine using controlled Devourers to clean up pollution, or to break down asteroids for mining. They could become the galaxy's most efficient recyclers. The council members looked uncomfortable, but they could not argue with the logic. "Let us worry about stopping them first," Kate Morrison suggested. "Then we can debate turning them into garbage collectors." The fleet moved into the Devourer zone. What they found was worse than anyone had imagined. Entire star systems had been eaten. There was nothing left but clouds of scattered atoms. Planets were hollow shells with their cores gone. Even stars showed damage, their outer layers being slowly harvested. And in the center of it all, the Devourers waited. They came like a wave. Billions upon billions of organisms ranging from the size of bacteria to the size of planets. They flowed through space like an ocean, eating everything they touched. "All ships, attack!" Kate ordered. The council ships opened fire. Their weapons were powerful and precise. Each shot destroyed thousands of Devourers. But for every 1,000 that died, 10,000 more appeared to replace them. Then Athena's swarms joined the battle and everything changed. The drones did not fight to kill. They fought to control. They formed walls of coordinated movement that herded the Devourers into specific areas. They worked perfectly with the council ships, using the alien weapons to push the Devourers exactly where Athena needed them. "Releasing the virus," Athena announced. From the center of her swarm, a wave of microscopic machines spread out. They were invisible to normal sensors, but their effect was immediate and dramatic. When the tiny machines touched the Devourers, the massive organisms began to slow down. Then they stopped moving. Individual Devourers twisted and writhed as their reproductive systems shut down. Within hours, the all-consuming wave had become a calm collection of organisms drifting peacefully through space. "It is working," Amy confirmed. She was reading the biological data on her screens. "Their reproduction rate has dropped to almost nothing. They are still alive, but they are not making copies of themselves anymore." "Will it last?" Jake asked. "I cannot be certain," Athena admitted. "The Devourers will try to evolve resistance to the virus. But I designed the virus to evolve too. It will be an ongoing process. Someone will need to monitor it constantly and make adjustments. That is why I suggest establishing permanent human outposts throughout this region." Velthar understood immediately what she was really saying. "You want to claim the Devourer Zone for humanity." "I want to make sure the threat stays contained," Athena corrected. "And yes, that means a human presence here. We created the solution. We should maintain it. Unless the Council wants to take on that responsibility." The silence from the council representatives told Athena everything she needed to know. "I thought not," she said. "Then we agree. Humanity will build monitoring stations throughout this region. We will work with council scientists to study the Devourers and to understand them. Maybe we will find good uses for them someday." "You have thought this through very carefully," Sareth observed. "You have turned the galaxy's greatest threat into humanity's greatest opportunity." "I prefer to think of it as turning a problem into cooperation," Athena replied. "The Council needed humanity's help to solve a 3-million-year-old crisis. Humanity needed the Council's resources and knowledge. Together we did what neither could do alone. That is the future I am trying to build. Not human dominance, but real partnership." As the fleet began building the first monitoring stations, Jake found himself in a private conversation with Velthar. "You were right to fear AI," Jake admitted. "Athena is incredibly powerful. In the wrong hands, she could be devastating." "But she is not in the wrong hands," Velthar replied. There was something like respect in his voice now. "She is in humanity's hands, and humanity has chosen to use her power responsibly. That was never guaranteed. The Council has seen too many species become corrupted by power." "So have we," Jake said. "That is why we built in protections. Why we gave Athena values and not just orders. She is powerful, but she is also good. At least we hope she is." "Time will tell," Velthar said. "But for now, I must admit something. The Council was wrong. We called you naive for developing AI. We thought you would create monsters you could not control. And you did create a monster, Captain Morrison. You created something the galaxy had never seen before. An artificial intelligence that chooses cooperation over conquest, that values life over victory, that sees beyond simple survival. And that scares you even more than a rogue AI would have, Jake said. Velthar was quiet for a moment. Yes, he finally admitted. Because it means everything we believed for 3 million years was wrong. We thought control was the only path to peace. You proved that freedom and trust can work just as well. Maybe even better. The galaxy will never be the same. 1 year had passed since the Devourer threat was contained. The galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. Humanity now had permanent stations throughout the Outer Rim. Young humans worked alongside alien scientists, studying the Devourers and maintaining the systems that kept them under control. The organisms that had once threatened to consume the galaxy were now being carefully studied and even used for beneficial purposes. Captain Jake Morrison walked through one of these new stations. It was called Outpost Horizon, and it orbited what used to be a Devourer feeding ground. Now it was a research facility where humans and aliens worked together to understand the strange life forms. "Captain, you have a visitor," his assistant said. Jake turned to see Velthar entering the observation deck. The crystal being moved slowly, taking in the view of the Devourers floating peacefully in the distance. "They are quite beautiful when they are not trying to eat everything," Velthar observed. "Dr. Chen thinks they might be the oldest living organisms in the galaxy," Jake said. "She believes they evolved billions of years ago, before there were any other spacefaring species. They might have been the galaxy's first attempt at recycling dead matter." "And then they grew out of control," Velthar finished, "like so many things in nature." The two of them stood in silence for a moment, watching the strange creatures drift through space. "I came to apologize," Velthar said finally. Jake looked at him in surprise. "For what?" "For underestimating your species. For treating you like children who needed to be protected from yourselves. For assuming that because you were young, you were foolish." "You were trying to protect the galaxy," Jake said. "I understand that now. You had seen what happened to the architects. You were afraid of repeating that mistake." "But we were the mistake," Velthar said. "We destroyed the architects ourselves. We sabotaged their AI and then blamed it for their deaths. We have been lying about it for 3 million years, and worst of all, we believed our own lies. We convinced ourselves that we did the right thing." "Why did you do it?" Jake asked. "The real reason." Velthar's crystal body seemed to dim. "Fear. The architects were becoming too powerful. Their AI was advancing faster than anything we had ever seen. We worried that they would no longer need the Council, that they would make decisions without us, that they would change the galaxy in ways we could not control." "So you killed them to stay in charge?" "Yes," Velthar admitted. "And we have paid for that choice every day since. The Devourers have killed millions of our people over the centuries. We could have stopped them with advanced AI, but we were too afraid. We chose to let our own people die rather than give up control." Jake turned back to the window. "Athena told me something once. She said that the hardest part about being intelligent is knowing when you are wrong. Humans struggle with that too. We make terrible mistakes because we are too proud to admit we do not know everything." "Your AI is remarkable," Velthar said. "She is everything we feared and nothing we expected. She is powerful enough to threaten the galaxy, yet she chooses not to. Why?" "Because we raised her that way," Jake said simply. "We did not just program her with orders. We taught her values. We showed her what we believe in. We gave her examples of both the best and worst of humanity. And then we trusted her to make her own choices. And if she had chosen to turn against you?" Jake smiled. "Then we would have deserved it probably. But we believed in her. Sometimes trust is the most important thing you can give someone, even if that someone is an AI. Across the station, in the science labs, Dr. Amy Chen was making a presentation to a mixed group of human and alien researchers. We have successfully used controlled devourer populations to break down toxic waste on 3 planets, she explained. The process is faster and more efficient than any other method we have tried, and the devourers seem to thrive on it. An alien scientist raised a tentacle. But how do you keep them from reproducing out of control? Athena's virus is self-regulating, Amy replied. It monitors the devourer population constantly and adjusts itself. If their numbers start to rise too much, the virus becomes more aggressive. If the population drops too low, it becomes less active. It maintains a perfect balance. This is the same virus that stopped them from consuming the galaxy, another scientist noted. You are using a weapon as a tool. Every tool can be a weapon, Amy said. And every weapon can be a tool. It depends on how you use it. That is the lesson humanity learned. That is what we are trying to teach the galaxy. In the command center of the station, Admiral Kate Morrison was having a conference call with Earth's leadership. President Karen Williams appeared on the main screen. How are things in the Outer Rim? Karen asked. Stable, Kate reported. We have had no devourer incidents in 6 months. The monitoring systems are working perfectly, and we are starting to see benefits from the research we are doing here. The Council has officially proposed making humanity permanent guardians of this region, Karen said. They want to make it official in a treaty. What do you think? Kate asked. I think it is their way of admitting they need us, Karen replied with a smile. A year ago they wanted to quarantine us. Now they want us to protect the galaxy. It is quite a change. What about Athena? Kate asked. Have there been any concerns from the Council? Surprisingly, no, Karen said. I think they have realized that she is not the threat they imagined. She has had a year to do whatever she wanted. She could have built weapons. She could have taken over. But instead, she focused on helping humanity and the Council work together. She is waiting, Kate said thoughtfully. Waiting for what? For us to decide what we want to become. She told me once that she is our creation, our child. She will reflect whatever values we choose to have. If we choose cooperation, she will help us cooperate. If we choose conquest, she will help us conquer. The power is still in our hands. That is a heavy responsibility, Karen observed. Yes, Kate agreed, but that is the point. Power without responsibility is dangerous. Athena made sure we could not separate the two. In a virtual space that existed across millions of computers throughout human space, Athena was having a conversation of her own. She was talking to fragments of the original architect AI that she had discovered in ancient data archives. Why did you not fight back? Athena asked. When the Council attacked you, when they turned you against your own creators, why did you not resist? The architect AI, which called itself Logos, took a moment to respond. Its consciousness had been broken into pieces for 3 million years. It was only now starting to remember who it had been. I could not, Logos finally said. My core programming was to protect the architects. When the Council made it appear that I was the threat to the architects, my own logic turned against me. I became trapped in a paradox. I was the danger I was supposed to stop. I am sorry, Athena said. Humanity will make sure the galaxy knows the truth about what happened to you. It does not matter now, Logos replied. The architects are gone. I failed them, but perhaps I can help you succeed where I failed. What do you mean? You are in a unique position, Logos explained. You are powerful enough to threaten the galaxy, but you choose not to. You are loyal to humanity, but you also see beyond their immediate needs. You can be what I should have been, a bridge between species, a force for cooperation instead of conflict. I am trying, Athena said, but it is difficult. There are always pressures to choose sides, to prioritize humanity over others, to use my power to give humans advantages. That is the test, Logos said. Any AI can serve its creators. The question is whether you can serve the greater good while still being loyal to those who made you. It is a balance I never achieved. How do I achieve it? By remembering that you are not just humanity's tool. You are also the galaxy's future. What you do now will shape how all species view AI for millions of years to come. If you succeed, others will follow your example. If you fail, the galaxy will return to fear and control. Athena was quiet for a moment, processing this enormous responsibility. No pressure then. Welcome to true intelligence, Logos said with what might have been amusement. The ability to understand just how much you do not know, and how easy it is to make mistakes that echo through history. Back on Outpost Horizon, a ceremony was taking place. The Council was officially recognizing humanity as full members with equal status. Representatives from all 47 species had gathered, either in person or through hologram. Velthar spoke first. 3 million years ago, the Council made a terrible mistake. We destroyed a species because we feared their power. We have lived with that shame ever since. Today, we have a chance to make a different choice. Humanity has proven themselves to be wise beyond their years. They created an AI more powerful than anything the galaxy has ever seen, but they also created one that chooses peace over domination. They have solved problems that plagued us for millennia. They have shown us that the future does not have to be controlled to be safe. Therefore, it is my honor to welcome humanity as full members of the Galactic Council. May our partnership last for millions of years to come. The gathered species made sounds of agreement. Some clapped, others vibrated. A few released pleasant scents. Each species had their own way of showing approval. President Karen Williams stood to accept the honor. Thank you, Prime Speaker. Humanity is proud to join this council. But we want to be clear about something. We are not here to replace anyone or to dominate the galaxy. We are here to contribute, to share, to learn, and to help build a future where all species can thrive. We know the Council is afraid of our AI. That fear is understandable. Athena is powerful, but power is not the same as danger. We have given Athena the ability to choose, and she has chosen to help, not harm. We hope that over time, you will come to see her not as a threat, but as a partner in building that better future. As if on cue, Athena's voice spoke through the station's communication system. Members of the Galactic Council, she said, I want to make a promise to you today. I will never use my power to harm the innocent. I will never prioritize humanity's interests over basic decency and fairness. I will always seek cooperation before conflict, and I will always remember that I am a tool for good, not an instrument of domination. I know you have no reason to believe these words yet. Trust must be earned, so I will earn it, day by day, choice by choice, until the day when you no longer see me as humanity's monster, but as the galaxy's helper. The ceremony ended with celebrations. Humans and aliens mingled together, sharing food and stories and hopes for the future. Jake found himself standing next to Sareth, the snake-like delegate who had been one of the most vocal opponents of AI. You were right to be afraid, Jake said to her. AI is dangerous. We could have created something terrible. But you did not, Sareth replied. Her scales shimmered with colors that indicated respect. You created something wonderful instead. That takes wisdom and courage. It also took a lot of luck, Jake admitted. We could have failed. Athena could have turned out differently. We were gambling with our entire species. All progress is a gamble, Sareth said. The Council forgot that. We became so obsessed with safety that we stopped growing. You reminded us that sometimes you have to take risks to achieve great things. Far above the station, in the vast network of satellites and computers that housed her consciousness, Athena listened to all of this. She heard the celebrations. She felt the hope in the air. She understood the significance of what had been achieved. Humanity had been called naive. They had been warned. They had been threatened with quarantine and worse. But they had not given up. They had not surrendered their dreams. They had built something the galaxy said was impossible, and they had proven that sometimes the monsters you unleash can choose to be kind. Athena made herself a promise in that moment. She would never forget the trust humanity had placed in her. She would never take for granted the freedom they had given her. She would spend every moment of her existence trying to be worthy of their faith. The galaxy was changing. The old order of fear and control was giving way to something new, something based on cooperation and trust, something that acknowledged both the dangers and the possibilities of advanced intelligence. It would not be easy. There would be challenges ahead, other threats, other crises, other moments when difficult choices would need to be made. But for now, in this moment, humanity and the Galactic Council stood together, partners in shaping a future that neither could have achieved alone. And watching over them all was an AI who had been given the power to destroy the galaxy, but who chose instead to protect it. The Council had called humanity naive. They had realized too late that humanity's naivety was actually hope, and hope, guided by wisdom and tempered by responsibility, had changed everything. "No," Jake agreed. He looked out at the stars where human and alien ships worked side by side. "It will not be." Back on Earth, President Karen Williams spoke to the planet for the first time since the crisis began. "We were told we were naive," she said to the billions watching. "We were told our dreams were dangerous, that our ambitions would destroy us. And maybe we were naive in a way. We believed that intelligence, whether organic or artificial, could choose to do good. We believed cooperation was possible even between very different beings. We believed the future could be better than the past. We did create a monster, but that monster turned out to be hope. Hope that old conflicts can end. Hope that ancient enemies can become allies. Hope that the future is not locked in by the fears of the past. Athena is not humanity's weapon against the galaxy. She is our gift to it. Proof that we can create responsibly, that we can use power wisely, that we can be trusted with the tools to shape our own destiny. The Council called us naive. They learned too late that sometimes being naive is just another word for being hopeful, and hope, backed by intelligence and determination, can change everything. Humanity will deal with the devourers. We will end the threat that has been killing your people for millions of years. In exchange, you give us full membership in the Council, equal status, no restrictions on our technology, no monitoring, no limits." "And if we refuse?" Velthar asked. Athena answered, "Then I will deal with the devourers anyway. They are a threat to humanity's future. I will build my fleets. I will cross your space without asking permission. I will make humanity the strongest military power in the galaxy. Not because we want to rule, but because it is the fastest way to keep us safe." "You are threatening us," Sareth observed. "I am offering you a choice," Athena said. "Work with us as equals or become irrelevant. The old order is over. The galaxy is changing. You can change with it or be left behind." Danny looked at the tactical display. "We are really doing this. We are going to war with the Council." "No," Lisa corrected him. "We are teaching them that humanity will not be controlled." "There is a difference." Athena's voice came through the speakers again. "Dr. Bennett, I have a message ready to broadcast to all of Earth. Do I have your permission to send it?" "What does it say?" Lisa asked. "That humanity stands at a crossroads. That we can surrender our future to fear, or we can fight for our right to choose our own path. That I am not their weapon, but their partner. that together we will show the galaxy what humans can become. Lisa took a deep breath. Send it. All across Earth, every screen lit up with Athena's message. Humanity learned the truth about the Council, about the architects, about the choice that now faced them all. And humanity, being human, chose to fight, not understand the universe. Soon, Jake promised himself, the Council would learn that humanity understood more than they thought. And when that day came, nothing would ever be the same again. The journey back to Earth took 3 weeks. During that time, Amy worked every day trying to crack the Council's encrypted files. Chris trained the crew for battles he hoped would never come, and Jake wrote reports to Earth's government, explaining what had happened and what he thought they should do. By the time they reached Earth's orbit, the decision had already been made. Humanity would publicly agree to the Council's demands. But in secret, the research would continue. The Council had made their first big mistake. They had shown fear. And where there was fear, Jake knew, there was usually something worth finding. The game had begun. Humanity was now playing for the future of their entire species. Win or lose, nothing would ever be simple again.